out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant for the sight and good for food, the tree also of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads.
Yeah, we got to deal with that because this goes back years back where you had these guys, and we spoke about them about maybe a month or two ago. A guy by the name of Saad and another guy by the name of Arum, and they're from the original Boston camp, which the Spirit got on me to go up there to set that camp up when there was really only two of them. Then it became a big camp, and then basically what happened was they all went back into the world. But now they see that the prophecies are coming to pass. They're trying to sneak back in there and trying to get back in the position that they were in back then. And you'll still put up a couple of videos here and there. And you see a lot of these guys that you see popping up that you never seen them before. We know all these guys, man. They're from the old school. They go back to the 1992 Israelites, man. See these guys popping up all over the damn place because they're trying to get. They see that the society's going down. They see the prophecies coming to pass left and right. They see that everything's speeding up. So they think they can sneak back in there. They think they can go behind the Most High's back and they can just get back in there like they never left. But guess what? The Most High set up his prophets, which is us. And that's why we expose them every goddamn time, man. You know? Go ahead.
It says, so it says, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads.
Now that's another clue. We found out that the Most High set up a garden eastward in Eden, right? So that's the middle. That has to be the east, the Middle East, right? He said that he had a river of water go through the garden, and it parted into four heads. Now, if a body of water parts into four heads, that's what? Four more bodies of water, right? So now we're going to find out what these four more bodies of water are.
The name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. It says, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates.
Okay, then I gave one river that we that is still named today Euphrates. So now if you go on an ancient biblical map, find where the river Euphrates are, and let's check these other rivers. What was the name of the first river?
Pison.
Right, Pison would have to be the Red Sea. What's the second river?
Gihon.
Read on.
It says, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia.
What great body of water compasses the whole land of Ethiopia? The Nile River. The Nile River. What was the name? What was the ancient name?
Gihon.
Gihon. What was the first river?
Pison.
The Pison today is called the Red Sea. Because what did it do? What did it compass?
It says, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold.
Now Havilah means parts of Arabia. When you look at that, when you go south of Jerusalem, you go southbound, you're going to run into Arabia. When you go southbound, on the west side is going to be the Nile River, and that other river that's east of the Nile River is what? The Red Sea. And then on the Red Sea, you have two gulfs. You have the Gulf of Suez and you have the Gulf of Aqaba, which set up two more heads. All right? So now we found out that one river, Adam was placed in that garden in Eden, and there was this river that went through it, and it broke into four heads. We found out the first river was the Red Sea, or the first body of water was the Red Sea. The second body of water was the Nile River. Then it spoke about the Hiddekel. We don't know what the Hiddekel is now, right? But it mentioned the last river, which was the Euphrates, right? The Euphrates has kept that ancient name. Now I got to look into that name Euphrates. It might be a Greek word because it had another word, but the ancient Greeks knew that it was the Euphrates because I believe they named it that name. Okay, because the name had another name that is not in the scriptures. So if the Euphrates is that river, one of those rivers, one of those four bodies of water, the Hiddekel would have to be what? What's the next great body of water? The Tigris, which is northeast of the Euphrates. Now in the book of Revelation, it speaks about the river Euphrates, which is going to be dried up to prepare the kings of the east. Go ahead.
Real quick. Daniel 10:4. And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel. Now the precept for Hiddekel says, or Tigris.
Yeah, so they come out and tell you that. That's what it's called now, the Tigris. Go ahead.
This is Genesis 25:17. And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the spirit and died, and he was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is, before Egypt, as thou goest towards Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren.
Yeah, so that's got to be the Red Sea. All right? Now let's go back to where we left off.
It says, Genesis.
Now, going back to what I said about Sa'adi and Aram, they broke it down totally wrong. And that was way back when everything was in order. So you had these young guys that was doing their own damn thing. Just like we found out through the brother in Texas. What's the brother, Bible Basics? What's his Hebrew name? Akkad Lamad. He had made this video recently about a group of guys in Florida that's talking about there's such thing as a hell. Now, when I first saw those guys, there was something funny about those guys. And I said, if they're not men of the Lord, it's going to come out anyway that they're not men of the Lord. Now, for them to go around and use our name, GMS, and teach that there's a hell, them guys, they err for not knowing the scriptures. So nobody is to deal with those guys. Because just because you put GMS in the front of your name, that don't mean you down with us, all right? And more of you guys are going to fall off. More of you guys that ain't right in the spirit, like the old saying, it all comes out in the wash. You ain't tricking no goddamn body. General Gehenna, he ain't tricking no damn body. We know he sold out. Go ahead.
Back in Genesis 2:14, and the name of the third river is Hiddekel, and that is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Yeah, if there's an apple tree, you can eat the apple. If there's a pomegranate tree, the pomegranate, which is we used to call it the Chinese apple as children, that's a pomegranate, and that's mainly grown in the east. And when you do it, if you do a word search on pomegranate, that's mentioned in the scriptures many times. So they can eat the pomegranate from the pomegranate tree. They can eat the banana from the banana tree. They can eat the grape from the grape tree. They can eat pear from a pear tree. Those are actual trees that yielded these different fruit that you can physically eat. Go ahead.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, because that's not a tree that you can eat fruit from. It's something that you can gain wisdom, whether it be negative wisdom or positive wisdom. Go ahead.
It says, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every...
So all this madness about a woman being 50-50 to you is bullshit, man. All this madness about a man cheating on a woman, that's bullshit. You just a pair of shoes. You a little higher than a pair of shoes, but that's what you are. You serve a purpose, man. A pair of shoes can't jump up and say, look, why are you buying another pair of shoes? You're supposed to wear me every goddamn day. What you gonna do to them shoes?